The prices for oil, petroleum products, and natural gas that you commonly see quoted in newspaper articles are the spot prices for the benchmarks for these different types of hydrocarbons. A spot price of a hydrocarbon is its sale price for immediate delivery at a prearranged location, and it requires immediate payment. The meaning of immediate in this case can be anywhere from hours to tens of days from the sale agreement, but it is very soon after the agreement, with the payment often being made at the time of delivery. Spot prices are not exclusive to hydrocarbon benchmarks. Natural gas from anywhere and all types of crude oil and petroleum products can be sold on the spot or in what is referred to as the spot market. The spot price will reflect the demand for the hydrocarbon at the delivery point and, in the case of oil, the quality of the crude with respect to that of a regional benchmark like West Texas Intermediate here in the U.S. Spot prices reflect the current balance between the supply and demand for a hydrocarbon. For example, if many producers temporarily have more oil on hand than they can afford to store, the producers can sell the excess on the spot market, which for a large sell-off may push the benchmark price down. Conversely, if demand for, say, gasoline spikes and refiners are short on their supply of feedstock oil, the refiners can buy what they need on the spot market, which may drive the benchmark spot price up. The spot market itself has no physical location. In other words, there is no set of trading floors where all spot transactions take place. So how then are spot prices for oil and natural gas benchmarks determined? They typically come from one of two other types of prices. One of these is from prices associated with what are known as over-the-counter sales. An over-the-counter sale occurs directly between private parties independent of any trading exchange. The sale price, amount, location, and timing of delivery are negotiated between the parties as part of the sales contract. The vast majority of oil and gas sales are over-the-counter. Being private, the prices of these sales are not publicly reported. However, there are market intelligence firms such as Platts and Argus who collect voluntary information on over-the-counter sales and use these to calculate prices for benchmark hydrocarbons such as West Texas Intermediate. These Platts and Argus benchmark prices are widely published and often the ones that you see in the paper. The other type of price that is often reported comes from futures contracts for oil, petroleum products, and natural gas. A futures sales contract is similar to an over-the-counter sales contract, except that the futures sales contract is highly structured and uniform. The quantity, location, and timing of future delivery are all pre-specified, so there is no negotiation involved in these contracts. Furthermore, futures contracts are only sold through trading exchanges, the two largest being the New York Mercantile Exchange, or NYMEX, in Manhattan, and the Intercontinental Exchange, or ICE, in London. For example, NYMEX offers futures contracts for oil that can be received 1 to 18 months in the future, with the delivery point for the oil being Cushing, Oklahoma. Futures contracts allow buyers and sellers of oil or natural gas or petroleum products to lock in a sale price and thus hedge against price changes that could cost them lots of money if they instead waited to buy or sell on the spot market at the time that they need to physically acquire or offload product. Futures contracts also allow price speculators to buy and sell hydrocarbons without having to take physical delivery of the product, for the speculators can always sell the product as the time for delivery approaches. A benefit of the involvement of speculators is that they increase the number of buyers and sellers in the futures market, as well as the number of sales, making the futures contracts much more liquid or easier to buy and sell. When the different prices of futures contracts from 1 to 18 months out into the future are plotted versus month, they form a forward price curve. This forward curve reflects what market participants anticipate will happen to oil, petroleum product, or natural gas prices moving forward as a result of projected changes in demand and/or supply. Typically, a forward curve will show prices declining into the future, indicating that market participants expect supply will be increasing relative to demand. This is known as backwardation, and it suggests selling now will be more profitable than selling in the future. At times, however, the forward curve will show prices increasing into the future, indicating market participants foresee supply tightening relative to demand. In this case, the forward curve is said to be in contango. It suggests that if the cost of temporarily storing a hydrocarbon is not too expensive, it may be profitable to sell the hydrocarbon in the future. Thus, the futures market not only enables buyers and sellers of oil, petroleum products, and natural gas to hedge against price volatility, it also contributes to price transparency, and it provides information on market expectations for future oil, petroleum product, and natural gas supply, demand, and prices. Where the futures market relates to the spot market is in the price of the 1 month ahead contract. This is the contract for which prices can be best estimated from current prices, and so is generally closest in value to the spot price. In fact, since this contract closes within 30 days, its price is the other one that is commonly cited for the spot price in newspapers. In summary, then, there are 3 types of prices for oil and natural gas and petroleum products: spot prices, over-the-counter sales prices, and futures contract prices. While all are determined separately, they are also all based on each other and influence one another. This interdependency is one of the things that makes the pricing of oil and gas so complicated and in fact can contribute to oil and gas price volatility.